Hi, Kira. Hi, Alexis. I'm really glad to see both of you again. Before we get started, I just want to go over our limits of confidentiality again. Does that sound good to both of you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, like we've covered over the past couple of weeks, everything that is said here stays here, except for a few things that I'm mandated to report by law, which includes imminent threats of harm to self or harm to others. I want both of you to feel really confident in openly communicating with me about your experiences. So I just want to make sure that you're fully aware of these limits and you're willing to continue. So if this is okay with both of you, I just need your verbal consent again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Good.
Okay, wonderful. So over the past few weeks, we've been working on identifying the areas of our life that impact our stress levels and also working on strengthening our stress management skills. So really the objective today is for us to communicate and have some honest dialogue about how we're dealing with our stress in our day-to-day lives. I really want to hear about if you've been able to, one, identify your triggers of stress, and two, the steps that you've taken to work through it. Or even if you've only identified those areas, but you're not really sure of tools that you have for stress management. I do encourage you to be completely vulnerable, even in those areas where you feel it may not be going as well as you hoped or not going as well as you maybe anticipated. So whoever wants to go first, I will hand it over to you.
Yeah, I can go first. So recently I've been able to kind of like link the levels of stress I'm feeling to how I'm feeling physically.
Mhm.
I've started to realize like I'm not feeling well. I'm just feeling just kind of like run down. I get like headaches, I get really tired. And I've always kind of like traced it back to something like overwhelming or something like um, stressful happening at work or just in my life. So that's some progress I feel like I've seen over the
Yeah,
last months.
absolutely. And you, Alexis?
I think that I've been struggling a lot recently being able to identify those things. It's been really hard to pinpoint what's been causing me the most stress. I've got a lot going on right now, and so I'm working a lot of jobs. I'm doing two different degrees, and so kind of all that piling up makes it hard to really understand what's making me stressed out in the moment. And so it's really difficult to identify exactly what I'm feeling or what I'm going, like what's going on, I guess. Um, I do feel like I'm realizing a little bit more how much is actually on my plate, but I can't really pinpoint in that moment when I feel the most overwhelmed. I can't pull out what's making me feel that. Uh, Sometimes it just feels like everything's kind of adding up, but it makes me feel worse almost to try to pinpoint that. It feels like pinpointing that or having to determine in that moment, okay, what's actually overwhelming me is just one more thing that I'm adding to my plate. And so um I've really struggled with kind of being kinder to myself and being like, okay, well, like what's overwhelming you right now? How are you feeling? Just because everything's happening, you
Yeah.
know. Um, so I think that I've identified that struggle for sure, but it's been a little hard to help myself during that time, I guess.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from both of you is that you've definitely seen the different areas of your life that maybe exasperate your levels of stress that you're experiencing. Kira, for you, it really manifests physically, and then Alexis, for you, it kind of manifests into this feeling of overwhelm and like things just add up, and that takes a big emotional toll. Does that sound accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so what I want to move into is this thing that we call action steps. And here we're going to identify things that you can actively do in these times of stress and overwhelm to kind of mitigate what you're experiencing and see how that influences the severity of your stress symptoms. I think taking this reflective time can really help y'all to identify where your strengths are in managing stress and also open up opportunity to identify your areas of improvement. And the word improvement, when I say that, it's not to discredit any of the work that you've done, but it is a way to identify steps that can take your progress even further than it's already gone. So, Kira, let's go back to you.
Yeah. I feel like something I can do when I notice myself starting to not feel good. It's just kind of maybe like writing down what's happened that day or that week that could be playing into how I'm feeling, just to kind of help myself like process it. I feel like sometimes I just like like push myself so hard, and I'm just kind of like driving myself into like more stress. So like maybe seeing if there's something small in my life that is safe to kind of take out of my routine, since it may be adding to the stress instead of helping me. Maybe just kind of like a trial and error thing.
Yeah. And Alexis, what about you?
I agree with I agree that what's bothering me needs to be like kind of tracked. I think that keeping track of everything that's going on would be really helpful. I think that's a really good idea. But instead of trying to take myself or take things out of my routine, I don't really have time. Like I don't have anything that's easily removable. I don't have anything that's safe to remove right now. So I think I need to remove myself. I think that maybe taking time for myself to kind of have my list, and that's awesome, but like set it aside and step away from that list for a second could probably be helpful. Um, I mean, I think that I get overwhelmed and I don't really know what to do next. And so I think if the next step is taking myself out, maybe like I go get a coffee or I call my sibling or maybe even just kind of go for a walk, get outside. I think that would kind of be helpful um, because there's nothing removable right now. So I have to remove myself and kind of take that mental break, even if it's just, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it takes. I think that that might be helpful in kind of managing or even pinpointing what it is that was stressing me out in the moment.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing from both of you, Kira, you see how the little things that you have are really adding up and contributing to that overwhelm that you have. And you do feel like you're at a point in time right now where there's room to kind of shift your schedule a little bit to better serve you. Whereas Alexis, everything in your life right now is required and nothing that you're doing, like working and your degree programs, like nothing that you're doing is really optional. You need to be doing all of it to keep moving forward. So instead, you want to make sure that you're also including time for yourself in there. Does that sound right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
Okay, so I think that these goals that y'all have set, like tracking how you're feeling and tracking the steps that you're taking, they're all very productive and very tangible goals. And it seems to me like you both have identified some really important aspects of your lives that can really set you up for success in the future. Um, Kira, you understand how you can make your schedule fit your life and the positive role that it could play in managing your stress levels. And Alexis, like you've identified how taking time for yourself can set you up for success in like all the different areas of your life. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so all of this is really great to hear. And I genuinely want to thank both of you for all the time and all the effort that you've put into this whole process. But I want to give you both the opportunity to share anything you feel like we may have missed before we close out our meeting.
I
I'm
think I'm
good.
good.
Good. Okay. Well, once again, I want to thank both of you again for all the hard work you're doing. Stick with it, keep it up, keep tracking how you're feeling, keep making sure that you're prioritizing taking care of yourself. Stress management is very important, not only for our work lives and our school lives and everything, but also just for our well-being in general. Like stress directly contributes to how you feel physically. Kira, you've seen that directly. So I want to make sure that y'all are prioritizing taking care of yourself and working towards these goals that you've identified. Um, so I will see both of you next week, and this concludes our session for today, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.